Summertime vacation travel adventures can oftentimes come with big crowds, limited accommodations, and less than ideal experiences. In this episode of 5 Spot, we'll look at 5 summertime adventures that will take you off the beaten path with less people, laid-back experiences, and plenty of adventure to be had. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of 5 Spot. I'm Scott Leuthold. As an avid outdoor adventure traveler, I've explored a great deal of North America as well as many remote destinations around the world. Let's take a look at these 5 lesser-known trips that you can take this summer so you too can venture out. Alright everyone, the first on our list is the beautiful San Juan Islands located a few miles off the coast of Seattle, Washington. Believe it or not, these beautiful islands consist of over 172 named islands and reefs. The largest islands in the chain include San Juan Island, which is the county seat, Orcas Island, and Lopez Island. Access to this chain of islands is an easy ferry ride on the Washington State Ferry from the port town of Anacortes. The state ferry system requires advanced reservations and can be purchased from ws.com. Visitors can board on foot, with their bicycle, or with their vehicle. Advanced reservations require details of the length of your vehicle for space planning. There are several departures scheduled daily. To me, the ferry ride alone is worth this trip. It's much like taking an inside passage cruise just for the day. Head up to the upper deck for great views. Touring these islands is easy on the many paved roads, especially on San Juan, Orcas, and Lopez Islands. Accommodations on these islands abound, including campgrounds, B&Bs, Airbnbs, boutique hotels, and I've met many people traveling the islands strictly by bicycle to pedal tour and camp along the way. The main tourist town of the island chain is Friday Harbor. This quaint harbor town offers great accommodations, dining, shopping, sightseeing tours, or rent a bicycle and pedal around the island for the day. On San Juan Island, don't miss visiting the very quaint, historic, and nostalgic Roche Harbor. While there, consider a kayak tour, seaplane tour, or fishing excursion. If you're lucky while you're out there, you'll catch a glimpse of orca whales, sea otters, or as I was fortunate enough to experience, deer swimming from one island to another across the vast sea channel. Orcas Island is a well-known island for great camping and nature submersion. Because the county seat is Friday Harbor over on San Juan Island, fewer people come to this island and it's much easier to find a peaceful place to stay. The San Juan Islands are the doorway to the inside passage. It really is a special experience spending your time out on these islands. There really is so much to do on this chain of islands where you won't get bored if you spend a week or two. I've visited these islands twice now and I look forward to going back as soon as I possibly can. Alright, next up is Door County, Wisconsin. Wait, did he say Wisconsin? Yep, I sure did. My home state has a tremendous amount to offer the summer vacationer, and one of my favorites is the beautiful Door County Peninsula. I grew up spending my summers here working in the local state parks teaching sailing and windsurfing. Door County in Wisconsin could be described as the Cape Cod of the Midwest. With its amazing quaint harbor towns, expansive forest state parks, hundreds of miles of rocky and sandy shoreline, and several islands accessible by ferry, the Door Peninsula can provide weeks' worth of exploration while submersed in this wonderful, wholesome place. One of the things I've always appreciated about this peninsula is the geography. The entire southeast shoreline faces the mighty Lake Michigan. This windswept shoreline offers great beaches, sand dunes, and views much like you'd expect to see looking out to the ocean. Whereas the northwestern shoreline faces Green Bay, which often brings warm, calm shorelines and bustling harbor towns. And traveling from one side to the other is less than a 20-minute drive. The Door Peninsula offers wine tasting, cherry and apple picking, boating, sailing, paddling, farm visits, and historic traditions such as the popular fish boil and so much more. The vast, lush state parks offer amazing camping, bicycling on networks of trails, beaches, hiking, water sports, and golf. And while you're there, don't miss out on the Northern Lights Theater where you can catch award-winning plays on an outdoor stage in the forest. I do have an older video in my archives of an adventure that I took to Door County. You might want to check that out. It is a little bit older, so the filming and editing technique is a little bit outdated, but I think it's still a great video for you to get a little information about this type of a trip. Alright, up next is the remote and stunning beautiful Northern California coast. If you've watched my videos, you've experienced this region with me more than once. I honestly cannot say enough about what this vacation has to offer the outdoor adventurer. Alright, let's just start with the redwoods. They're everywhere. Explore the Redwood National Park located north of Eureka, California. Located along the Pacific Ocean, this national park is a stunning jewel of the West. Or if you prefer, drive through the Avenue of the Giants located along the Eel River in the Redwood-Humboldt State Park. Either way, you'll get jaw-dropping exposure to these gigantic trees in these forests. Don't miss out on visiting the quaint Victorian town of Ferndale, California. This town has been the set of more than one Hollywood film. Then make your way south along the Lost Coast. Visit the remote village of Shelter Cove, located at the south end of the Kings Range National Conservation Area. Further south, you'll find one of my favorite towns in all the West. The town of Mendocino sits on the headland cliffs overlooking the Pacific Ocean. Often shifting between fog and sunshine, this community offers charming shops and dining, as well as great adventure sports such as mountain biking, hiking, sea kayaking, and even outrigger canoeing up the Big River. Also along the way, don't miss Glass Beach, the Fisherman's Wharf in Fort Bragg, as well as Point Cabrillo Lighthouse, Russian Gulch, Van Dam, and Mendocino Headland State Parks for camping and hiking. Heading south, make your way along Highway 128 inland along the Navarro River and stop in at the many vineyards along the way that line this picturesque highway. Getting to this region of Northern California is a little bit challenging because it is remote, and I think that's one of the things that makes it so special. Most people will fly into San Francisco and rent a car and drive up the coast. That could take you upwards of 4 to 5 hours, depending on where you're going. If you're going to Humboldt County and Mendocino area, probably 4.5 hours. If you're going to go further up to Eureka and Redwood Forest National Park, you're probably looking at about 5 to 5.5 hours. You can fly into Eureka from San Francisco. That is an option. However, I do prefer to drive up. I think it's a beautiful drive, especially through all of the vineyards and out to the coast, and you definitely drive through some redwood forests to get there. It's really wonderful that way. If you're new to my channel and you haven't watched all my videos, you might want to go back and watch the Northern California Lost Coast video from 2020 to learn more about this trip. Next up on the list is the epic San Juan Loop in southwestern Colorado. Parts of this stunning region could easily be considered the Switzerland of the USA. I don't even know where to begin to share all of the things this region has to offer. Alright, let's just start with the towns. This loop delivers spectacular scenery, but that's also the backdrop of amazing communities, and each one offers a different vibe. Durango is a college town. This town is warmer than the others as it sits lower in elevation. The landscape of this part of the loop offers green peaks and red rock cliffs. Don't miss out on rafting the Animas River, or if you like, ride the Durango to Silverton Railway. This epic train ride takes you on a breathtaking journey to the next town on our list, Silverton. Passing from Durango to Silverton over the $1 Million Highway, to me, Silverton is the Klondike of the lower 48 states. This town still has the rough and tumble vibe of a mining boomtown. I love exploring the high-elevation graded roads over Engineers Pass, the ghost town of Animas Forks, and beyond. If you want to take this trip in Silverton, you can rent a side-by-side or a Jeep. You won't be disappointed by the views around every single turn. Further north from Silverton is the town of Ouray. This town is literally the Switzerland of the West. This tiny but bustling town is tucked between sharply towering mountain cliffs. The town offers hot springs, great roof deck dining and saloons, and in the wintertime it's the home of the Ouray Ice Climbing Festival. On the way around the loop to Telluride, you'll pass through the small town of Ridgeway. Don't pass up stopping here to look around. And then as you make your way around the loop, you find Telluride. What can I say about Telluride? It's an outdoor adventurer's dream. Mountain lakes, aspen forests, mighty rivers, epic jeeping, stunning hikes, and every type of accommodation you could hope to find. Historic cabins, Victorian homes, condos, stunning hotel rooms. There's something for everybody. Further south along this picturesque loop, you'll find Cortez, Colorado. Here you'll find McPhee Reservoir, Canyons of the Ancients Museum, Yucca House National Monument, and the crown jewel of the Four Corners region, Mesa Verde National Park. Mesa Verde is a Native American treasure featuring ancestral Puebloan cliff dwellings that have been remarkably well preserved. Don't miss out on the Cliff Palace, the Balcony House, Spruce Tree House, and many other excellent examples of preserved Native American dwellings. Okay, last but by no means least is an epic destination I've visited more than once. I'm talking about one of my favorite international destinations, the small Central American country of Belize. Yep, Belize. Traveling to this region is quick and easy from the US. Hop a flight from Dallas-Fort Worth direct to Belize City. A flight is just under 3 hours from runway to runway. Most travelers visit Belize in the winter months. This makes the destination quite a paradise in the summertime, and that's when Belize is the least expensive. I've visited this country twice in the summertime, and on both trips I spent 2 weeks. On the first trip I spent a whopping $850, including all accommodations, transportation, entertainment, tours, food, and beverage. On the second 2-week trip, I visited much more luxuriously, staying in beachfront bungalows, taking puddle jumper prop planes around the country, and even took a side trip visit to the Tikal Mayan city in Guatemala, and I still only spent $1,500 a person, including airfare. And here's the secret. Belize offers the second largest barrier reef in the world just behind Australia. Extending for more than 180 miles along the Caribbean coast, the reef is dotted with more than 450 islands and atolls. These islands are why Belize, to me, is a summertime paradise. The humid summertime brings few people to the country, yet the cool Caribbean breeze keeps the humidity tolerable on the islands. Each island offers unique, oftentimes all-inclusive boutique resorts with adventure sport options such as scuba, snorkeling, deep-sea fishing, sea kayaking, parasailing, nurse shark and stingray tours, and much more. Traveling out to the islands from the airport is very easy. You can either book a puddle jumper airplane to a couple of the islands. Key Caulker and Ambergris both have runways, so you can take direct flights straight from the airport to these islands. Or, as I like to do, I like to take a taxi from the airport out to the boat docks. The boat docks are located along the shore in Belize City, and you go out there and you just buy a ticket normally like you would a bus ticket or a train ticket. You wait for your speedboat taxi to arrive. When it does, you load your gear on there and you take it out to the island that you've bought a ticket for. Generally speaking, I like to travel out to Key Caulker for the first night or two. It's a really great little backpackers island. When you get there, they'll drop you off at a dock. You have to walk into town. But the boat ride out to these islands is absolutely beautiful. It's across turquoise water of the Caribbean. You pass by a number of beautiful islands. It's just a wonderful experience. I like to book at least the first and second night of my vacation, so I know where I'm going to be putting my head for the night, and I have a destination when I first get to the country. However, I only book those nights. After that, I keep my entire itinerary completely flexible, because if it's being in the summertime, there's not a lot of people booking rooms, so there's a lot of availability on the different islands. This keeps things flexible. When you get there, you can get your bearings, figure out where you want to go next, call ahead, book a room for the next night, and make your way around the country that way. It's a really wonderful way to travel. It's much more free flow, a lot more adventurous experience. And as I said, in the summertime, there's not a lot of bookings, so you have a lot of availability to be able to do something like that. My last visit included a private flight from the island of Key Caulker direct to El Ramate, Guatemala to visit Tikal National Park. This stunning park offers miles of jungle hiking to temple pyramids shrouded in the mist, along the way spotting howler monkeys in the trees overhead. Back in Belize, one of my favorite places on Earth can be found about 3 miles off the coast of the town of Dangriga. The tiny island of Tobacco Key is a 6-acre island originally discovered and inhabited by pirates. Here I've stayed at Reef's End Lodge on the south end of the island. This all-inclusive boutique off-grid resort offers 3 meals daily. Most food is caught that day by local fishermen. The dining hall is a popular evening bar that sits on stilts over the water and is often visited by local fishermen from local islands. Getting to the island is much easier today than it was in the past. Back when I first visited, you had to find a local fisherman in the town of Dangriga. His name was Captain Buck, and you had to negotiate a ride on his skiff. Today, you can simply call ahead and reserve transportation from the kind folks at Reef's End Lodge. If you decide to take an adventure to Belize and stop off at Tobacco Key, tell Santo Malo Scott sent you. I generally like to round out my stay in Belize on the northern island of Ambergris Key. This bustling island offers unique boutique hotels with grass-thatched beachside huts, lots of great dining and shopping. I enjoy staying at Ramon's Village Resort beachside. Interestingly enough, this island was the inspiration for Madonna's song La Isla Bonita. I do have a couple of points to make about Belize. First of all, they do take the US dollar, and many of the people there speak English. The further you get out, the more remote you get, the less they take the US dollar and the less people speak English. So it's always a good idea to bring along with you some Belizean currency. You can pick that up in the international terminal in Dallas-Fort Worth. And if you have some information or a book that you can bring along on speaking Spanish, it always does help to have that along as well. All right, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this episode of 5 Spot. If you haven't become a subscriber, I definitely encourage you to do that. Of course, be sure to hit the notification bell to be notified when videos go live. And if you'd like to become a member of Team 4X, go to 4XPEDITION.com/join to learn more. Until the next time, take care.